6:30, let's call to order the Town of Delafield Board of Supervisor meeting for Tuesday, June 27th, 2023. If you'll all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Green.
Supervisors Mahoney Ogden,
Present.
Miller,
Present.
Michaels,
Present.
Chairman Kranek.
Present.
Thank you.
Citizens' comments, public comments from citizens regarding items on or not on the agenda. The board may not engage in discussions with a citizen making the comments. Individual presentations are limited to 3 minutes, and citizens shall follow the rules set forth in section 2.04, paren 1, paren D of the town code. Being no citizens' comments, let's move to the next item. Item 5, approval of the minutes from the May 23rd, 2023 town board.
I would motion to approve the minutes from May 23rd.
A second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Next item of business, actions on vouchers submitted for payment. There are no budget sub-account or actions to amend the 2023 budget, so I'd look for action on accounts payable and payroll.
I would motion to approve payment of checks 66803 through 66809 and checks 66812 through 66844 in the amount of $268,801.42, and payments of checks 66845 through 66847 and checks 66850 through 66870 in the amount of $39,349.78. I would further motion to approve the payrolls dated June 9th, 2023 in the amount of $17,381.78 and payrolls dated June 23rd, 2023 in the amount of $17,565.95.
A second.
Motion is second to move on accounts payable and payroll. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Next item of business, we have some communications. There's a special event permit for the Ronald McDonald House, the Christmas Fantasy House, November 3rd to November 11th in the Summer Hill subdivision. The next item is a public hearing notice from the City of Delafield that we received for the Divine Redeemer Lutheran Church conditional use amendment. There's also a communication for the Village of Summit for an amendment to their 2045 comp plan. And then some really important communications, the Oakton Road schedule for construction. You want to go through that, Mr. Administrator, please?
Sure. So Oakton Road is being redone this year. It's going to be done in two portions. One is the east portion of Stewart Avenue. That will begin first. Excavation begins July 12th. They anticipate the binder course being completed by July 24th and 25th, weather dependent. And then the western portion will start July 31st, and that binder coat will be August 7th. And then the finishing, the surfacing, shoulder, and striping will be finished in mid-August, hopefully finished by August 18th. So there will be signs for detours, but you should be able to use either Elmhurst. Through traffic can get through no matter what, but they'll be directed through Elmhurst to Gulf Road for getting out of those subdivisions. So we'll keep you posted if anything changes or if the schedule changes for any reason. And this is available on the website too.
I have a question regarding that. So with the future construction activity that's going to be happening in regards to what's going on with the Thomas Farm, and we'll have this brand new road, do we have the ability and the agreement to restrict access on Oakton when it comes time for that, and just have all construction traffic run on Gulf? Just because it seems a shame to have this brand new road, and then we all know how construction trucks and all that's hard.
Yeah,
on stuff.
I think we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there, since I mean it's still not happening
But that's-
right
yeah,
now,
I
so.
think that's something definitely that the board and as things progress with that property, we can definitely request that
Okay.
access. I mean, we've done that in the past. I know that we did that with the Shamestad Sisters construction to limit traffic on other roads. so.
Okay. I mean, if we didn't, my only comment was definitely the road needs it. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It needs it. But at the same token, if we didn't have the ability to restrict access, I'd almost say let's wait till all the big old construction is done, just so we can preserve the work that's done. But if we have the ability to say, stay off of it with construction traffic, then yeah.
I
Just my
can't see
only
that
comment.
being an issue, just because golf would be the most logical sense for
Right.
accessing that site. so.
Yeah. It's a good thought. You want to redo it and then have it damaged, right?
My
Yeah.
concern, just
Yep.
because.
Yeah, and we've talked about that with other projects we've had too, where we've purposely delayed them, knowing that other construction or detours were gonna be done. Silvernail, an example of the state not doing it until after 83 and some of those other construction projects are done, so, but yeah. Any other questions?
The next item is, we're not going to meet before the Pewaukee Triathlon happens. That's July 15th and July 16th. I believe they have a duathlon on the afternoon, evening of the 15th, and then the triathlon around the lake on the morning of the 16th. And then one additional communication, just an update on the garbage collection for next week for July 4th. If you are regularly scheduled to have your garbage collected on Monday, it will be picked up on Monday, but there will be no garbage collected on Tuesday, July 4th, the holiday, and then every day will be shifted one day. So if you were normally picked up on Tuesday, it will be picked up on Wednesday. Wednesday will be picked up on Thursday, and if you normally have Friday garbage collection, it will be picked up on Saturday. There is no unfinished business. Next item is new business. Discussion possible action on a vacation rental application for Heather Black for the property located at W298 and 2785 Locust Lane.
Sure, so you received your engineer report regarding this property. This came about because we found numerous properties that were listed on Verbo, and with our recent change to our vacation rental policy, we wanted to send letters to those folks, including Ms. Black, who's present. So she submitted the application for the vacation rental. The engineer's written a report regarding this. Some of the concerns that he addressed in his letter were parking spaces. The code requires that there's a parking space for every bedroom that's in the home, and with a minimum of 3 parking stalls. I went out on the location and I observed that there's enough for 2 stalls, but there are only 2 bedrooms in this home. So that's something that me and the engineer discussed, and we didn't see a major issue there. There's some other conditions with the approval. The garbage containers need to be housed under the carport that they have alongside the home. And then the lot lines need to be delineated, just with flags on the corners of the lot so that people that are renting the house know where the property lines are. And agreeing to all their conditions, and also clearly visible address plate, which I've spoken to the applicant and she has already ordered, I believe. There are address numbers on the home as well that are visible. They're a little small, so making those a little larger. So really, it's the board's decision on whether the 2 parking stalls are adequate. The engineer and I didn't really see a major concern given the size of the home. I believe it's less than 800 square foot home. So that's the engineer in my report.
Any comments from anybody regarding this?
Does it have access, lake access? Yes. It does, for just pedestrian or for ingress egress with trailers or?
We're on a private street.
I drove down and looked at it, but I couldn't quite tell, yeah.
Onto a grassy, like, area, a
Mm-hmm.
rather large one, actually. Not public, no.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I guess public wasn't the right word, but you've got your own access, and so the pier and the pier you said in boat is there, do your guests use your pier and boat, or can they bring their own boat to use the
Yes,
pier?
Yes. They cannot bring their own boat. We do have our own private dock, that they.
How many folks share that pier?
No.
Oh, it's just yours?
Yes,
Oh, okay,
we
okay.
all have our own individual.
Okay.
Do you mind me asking what platforms are you planning on using? Airbnb, VRBO?
Only Airbnb.
Okay.
No sense of. They do background checks. We have the occupancy. Our prime, this is our vacation home. So our kids have a bedroom, we have a bedroom. We were there for the last 6.
Like a full-time, really are.
So will you be present when guests are staying at the place? No, okay.
They wouldn't be there.
So they can go down and use the dock, but they can't use your boat, so can they rent a boat and tie it off?
They wouldn't be.
I would tell people is there, but you'd be responsible.
And just to clarify, Locust Lane is a private road. It's not a public road, so we don't maintain it. So it's owned by the group of people that live on the property. And I believe there's another couple of parking stalls that's shared too, that are available, so.
There's a
And are you planning on disclosing any kind of information about, I mean, granted, those people will stay at your place and, you know, let's say they have a boat and they want to, well, I guess they won't be using your pier anyway. Okay, that's fine. It's irrelevant.
The configuration, there wouldn't be room. I mean, they could,
You can't get
if they
it.
wanted to come up to our pier and jump off, that would be fine, but that would be the closest they'd be able to get because of our pontoon boat. So, there's no room.
So how many people are on the lake access in your neighborhood?
There's one family that owns 2 of them. And there's
Okay. Is there any documentation out there about any kind of rules related to the use of the pier?
well, it's our pier,
Right.
and we don't have a homeowners association
Okay.
or a.
I'd look for a motion to approve with the recommendations of the staff.
I motion to approve the granting of and then with the recommendations per the staff for the vacation rental.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second to recommend the approval of the vacation rental with the, subject to the owner installing the address plates that's clearly visible, the garbage containers being moved from the front of the house to the rear of the house or to the west end of the carport, with the lot corners being marked visible stakes so users know where the property boundaries are located, and the owners agreeing to all of the conditions of the license. Is there, all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
I don't know if I can say something. Already been.
Agreed.
I brought pictures, the plate has been placed, the stakes have been placed, and garbage cans have been moved.
Perfect.
So that I did and took photographs.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Give me a call in the morning and
Okay.
we'll talk about it.
Motion to
Thanks.
oppose, all those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Next item, a discussion possible action on the approval of a temporary Class B beer and wine license for the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Eastern Wisconsin for the Christmas Fantasy House Preview Night on November 2nd, 2023.
So there's, as was communicated in the communication section of the agenda, there will be a Christmas Fantasy House on Summer Hill Road. There's one event that they're going to be serving wine and beer for the event. So this is a temporary Class B license for that nonprofit organization to be able to do that. They are taking donations as part of this, so we technically have to issue a temporary Class B in order to take money for alcoholic beverages. We don't have any conflicts from a staff standpoint, so would recommend approval of the license.
And the license is all filled out and correct and everything?
Yeah, it's actually later in your packet after the alcohol beverage license. I think it's the
Oh,
third
it's
to
at the
last
end there.
page.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd look for,
Okay, I would motion to approve a temporary Class B beer and wine license for the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Eastern Wisconsin for the Christmas Fantasy House Preview Night on November 2nd.
second.
A second.
Motion is second to approve the temporary Class B beer and wine license for the Ronald McDonald House Charities for November 2nd. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next item, item C, discussion and possible action on the approval of alcohol beverage Class B liquor, Class B beer renewal license for the licensing period of July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024 for the Pewaukee Yacht Club, Western Lakes Golf Club, Fenori Winery LLC, and Buck Rub Outfitters Limited. And all the packets and information are in our packet. Do you have any comments or anything to add?
Just that we've gone through the application process. There were no red flags. These are all renewals. And just would look for a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, would you like a motion for these individually or together as one?
I think we just take them as one.
I would motion to approve the renewal of alcohol Class B liquor and Class B beer licenses for the licensing period of July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2024 to Pewaukee Yacht Club Incorporated, Western Lakes Golf Club, Fenori Winery LLC, and Buck Rub Outfitters Limited.
Second.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Motion and a second to approve the alcohol beverage Class B and Class B beer licenses for the following establishments. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion and possible action on a proposed amendment to the Lake Country Fire and Rescue Agreement, IMA. So with all this agreement does, or all this is it's an amendment to allow, from the town of Genesee, to allow us to exceed the CPI plus 2% so that we can maintain our budget to hire the staffing plan for the 14 individuals, the 7 in '23 and the 7 next year. And the number in the amendment and everything is everything that was approved in the referendum. It's really just ceremoniously, if we approve this evening, and I would recommend that we approve it this evening. So we would be the 6th of the 7 communities to have approved this. The city of Delafield, last Monday night, they unanimously rejected the amendment to the Lake Country Fire and Rescue IMA proposed by the town of Genesee, which would allow the LCFR to exceed the 2% plus CPI to meet the staffing needs of Lake Country Fire and Rescue as approved by the Lake Country Fire Board. The proposed amendment created an exception to the 24 to exceed the limitation of CPI plus 2% increase of the LCFR operational budget to hire additional staff in 24 as recommended by the staffing plan that was adopted by the Fire Board in fall of 22 and passed by all the other 6 communities that make up Lake Country Fire and Rescue, including the city of Delafield. The current funding formula was agreed upon by all 6 communities and the city of Delafield when LCFR was expanded to include us, the town of Delafield, the town of Genesee, and the village of Oconomowoc Lake. The agreement included these additional communities. We signed that back in fall of 2020, and it took effect on January 1st, 2021. Unfortunately, the city of Delafield, their fire fee referendum that they passed and that they calculated in April of 23, under the incorrect premise that created a new formula, would eliminate the fixed base percentage allocation that had been agreed upon in the intermunicipal agreement without consulting the other 6 communities. The rejection of the 6 community good faith action to meet the necessary staffing requirements recommended by the Lake Country Fire Rescue Board is disappointing from my perspective as a town official. The city's argument that the current formula is broken and the IMA must be reopened just 2 years into a 7-year contract to change the formula to eliminate the fixed base portion is not in the spirit of the IMA or the cooperation of the Consolidated Lake Country and Fire and Rescue. The city of Delafield currently pays 41% of the overall Lake Country Fire and Rescue budget, but they use 45% of the service. They are now risking the public safety of the entire LCFR service area, including the town of Delafield, by not allowing the Lake Country Fire and Rescue in 2024 to hire the additional 7 staff members to alleviate the staffing shortages. These shortages are well documented and have resulted in the city of Delafield station to be closed 12 to 15 24-hour periods in the most recent month. And that station is very important to me as a town of Delafield official, because that serves a good portion of the southern part of the town of Delafield off of Highway C and Cushing Park. So I would ask that we make a motion that we approve this, but there will probably be more amendments coming back to this board at some point, because in order to maintain the staffing plan, we need to amend the IMA to exceed that CPI plus 2%. Any questions?
Well, I motion to approve the proposed amendment to the Lake Country Fire and Rescue Agreement.
Second.
Go ahead, Meg.
Motion second to approve the IMA amendment proposed by the town of Genesee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Discussion and possible action on the 2024 budget workshop dates.
So, right now I'm looking at September 26th and October 10th. Usually we only need about an hour. You guys are good with those dates? You guys can check your calendars and let me know if we need to change those dates. We have plenty of board meetings until then.
That's the 26th is the regular board meeting.
They're
okay?
both but regular
Okay.
board
So
meetings.
the thought
I'm
was-
not looking at, those are the second and fourth-ish time, because that's what I was starting to think now that we get past summer, we're still on.
Yeah,
on the
second and
schedule.
fourth, yeah.
So it would be the 4th meeting in September and the second meeting, or the
First
First
meeting.
meeting.
first meeting in September and second meeting in September, the first meeting in October. So it would be the 4th Tuesday in September and the second Tuesday in October.
Can you please repeat the dates again for me?
The 26th and the 10th
26th of October,
of September, and then the 10th of
Sorry.
October.
10th of October, okay.
So typically, we have them both in September, but we get budgets so late now that it makes more sense to do it a little bit later so that I have final budgets from folks. So especially with the fire department and with.
Fire department comes in late.
Yeah, and also Pewaukee Rescue also tends to come in a little later too, so.
So the thought would be we'd meet at like 5:30 and
Yeah,
spend an
just-
hour before the board meeting.
Yep.
I'll make a point to be there.
And if we get done early, what I'll do is schedule the board meeting for 5:30 as well, or is right after the budget meetings, and that way if we're done by 6:15, we can just start it right away.
Okay.
Yeah, so check your calendars and let Dan know if those dates work.
That's great.
Announcements, planning items. We'll all be back here on Thursday night, this Thursday, June 29th, at 5 o'clock for our Board of Review mandatory 2-hour meeting. There's a Plan Commission meeting on Tuesday, July 11th at 6:30. There's a Town Board meeting on Tuesday, July 25th at 6:30. There's a Plan Commission on Tuesday, August 1st at 6:30. And then in August, what we'd like to do is kind of combine the August 8th and the August 22nd meeting and hopefully meet on Tuesday, August 15th. I know Supervisor Michaels and myself have some conflicts on those dates, so hoping that we can still meet in August.
So basically, that will be one time on the 15th of August?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then once we get into the fall, we'll get back onto regularly scheduled
Okay.
second and fourth Tuesdays.
And the 11th, we don't have any joint public hearing. There is a public hearing from the county for the Pewaukee Yacht Club, but that's only for a Plan Commission recommendation. So no need for additional board members to be present. Unless you want to be.
What is it regarding?
The Pewaukee Yacht Club is just expanding their hours, winter hours. So they want to hold a few events during the winter that they don't currently have in their conditional use.
I actually talked about that today, because I think they called to see if they should come here today for the approval of the liquor license, so it was just an opportunity to find out about what was going on with the conditional use permit. I know you're on the board, Magley, but I think it's not even so much to hold events, it's because they're just to kind of clear up the conditional use permit, if they just wanted even to get in, and they're not looking for like liquor, licenses and extension, but it's more like if they want to paint, or they want to gather there, whereas right now, I mean, it doesn't have heat, so you can't really do too much there. So I think a lot of it predicates on that. It's not even so much of potentially a social thing, but it's
Right.
not like they need, I think some of it's just being, can we get on the grounds and meet there and take care of business?
Yeah, because conditional use permits are very specific,
And I
that you
think
can't
they're
even be,
And I think that's what some of it is, just trying to clean it up a little bit and maybe have the ability to,
yeah, so that public hearing through the county, it will be a county public hearing at the Plan Commission meeting
Yep.
on the 11th. With that, I look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, motion and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.